Good morning, everybody. So it is Wednesday today. So what's up Wednesday? We have Rosie, May, Phoebe, right. And we're just at the straight road, mixing it up a little bit from the water because it's actually, I was gonna say it's a reasonable temperature, but honestly the humidity is kind of rough. But there's a decent enough breeze, and the dogs are getting wet just running through the grass, so I'm not so worried about them. Oh, so there is a ton of flies I'm noticing. I guess it is that season. Yeah. So again, I don't really have a solid topic today. So it's mostly going to be another walking babble. But sorry, listening to Rosie's little toenails as she runs around just makes me laugh. Anyway, so yeah, I think we spoke last week about like going back to basics if you're noticing behavioral problems. Things like separation anxiety, reactivity on or off leash. And keep in mind that if your dog is reactive off leash, he's probably trying to tell you something, and he just doesn't like other dogs. And again, that is okay. It is 100% fine if your dog doesn't like other dogs. It's antisocial, and that's cool. But it does mean, like, don't take him to dog parks. Find other activities that are more suited to him, like go out and throw the ball or a frisbee, or if he's not a fetcher, take him on hikes instead. Take him in on-leash areas, as long as he's not reactive on-leash, in which case work on the reactivity on-leash and then take him to on-leash areas. But like, try to figure out what your dog likes doing and do that, because you will have a much happier dog and be a happier you, and have a much more solid relationship if you're listening to each other, right? So, for example, I never, ever take Murphy to dog parks. And I've been over that before. I just consider them a very dangerous place, and I never want that experience for my dog or myself. Like, I've handled enough dog fights and corrections and stuff like that it's just not something I want to do when I'm just trying to have a good time with my dog, right? Oh, okay, I guess we'll sort of have a topic. So let's talk about advocating for your dog. So when you know that your dog doesn't like something, so for example, if you're walking your dog on leash, structured walk, and your dog shows signs of nervousness. So let's say, for example, you're approaching a person, like just regular person, not doing anything weird, and your dog sort of goes behind you. Typically that means your dog doesn't want to meet that person. So if that person stops and it's like, oh my god, that's such a cute dog, I had one of those when I was 16 and it was the best dog ever. If your dog doesn't want to be pet, you say thank you. And then when they ask if they can pet your dog, you say no. If they go to pet your dog without asking, you say no, because your dog very clearly is nervous in that situation. And if you need to, like, take a step in front of your dog, like, do that physical action, and it'll show your dog that they don't need to worry, that you've got this. And you'll notice a big change in the reactivity. So it's important too to not make them do that. Like, if you're like, well, but my dog needs to be social and needs to be okay with everyone all the time, one thing I'm gonna say is that's kind of unrealistic. Like, your dog's not gonna like everybody. Your dog's not gonna like every dog. And again, that's normal. Whew, sorry. I am breathing heavier than I should be going on a walk. think it's the humidity. Anyway, your dog might be scared of different people, and that's fine. Like Murphy, for example. Whoop, hi, May. Murphy, for example, the zoomies have hit. When I first got him, he really struggled with things like people in wheelchairs, if they had a walker, strollers, anything that wasn't just like a normal average person walking, he struggled with. Didn't like babies, thought they were like the craziest thing. Phoebe, front. Good girl. Just realized she was out of the shot for most of that. What else? If a person had like an umbrella in their hand, first time I took him to baseball, when someone picked up a bat, he lost his tiny mind. And like, obviously, the bat thing I fixed, because we're gonna go to baseball all the time. And I slowly worked on him being okay. He's still not okay if someone approaches with any of those things. I don't blame him. I'm not okay if someone approaches me without permission. Oh, geez. It's a good thing she's a tough little bean. And she's lost in the grass. Oh, there she is. Good girl, Rosie. And it took a lot of work, good boy, to get him to be okay with those things happening around him. And even still, if they get too close, he gets behind me and I take care of the situation. I either switch sides that he's on, or I'll put him firmly behind me so he knows that it's my job, or I'll send Evan to be an obstacle. If Evan's with me, I'll send him out in front so the person has to go around Evan and give us space. But I'll do my best to keep him away from that. And then when we're in a more controlled situation, then I will work on him being comfortable with that, right? Like when we're out in the wild, I'm not going to do that. Rosie, good girl. Yes, I see the temptation to bite at May's mustache. I get it. It's a good mustache. Anyways, so advocating for your dog, the important thing is to do it physically. Like, dogs are very physical